Hello Gemini, welcome to Aries season. You are tuned in for your season ahead horoscope from Embodied Astrology. My name is Renee, and this is a reading that is not predictive. It is about your energy. It is meant to help you stay centered and connected to your inner resources while we navigate the energetic landscape of Aries season in 2025. This is the period of time between March 20th and April 19th. And my hope is that you receive some affirmation and some tools, some skills to help you move with your body, move with your breath, and align in your felt sense with what this season is wanting to bring through for you. This is a general reading, so take what works and leave the rest. This is a reading for Gemini, Sun, Rising, and Moon. Everybody has Gemini in their chart, so if you know what house Gemini is in for you, and if you have any natal planets or points there, you can also listen through the lens of that awareness as well. All right, Gemini, well, I feel excited for you in Aries season. Aries holds a part of your chart that is maybe the most beneficial part of the chart. This is the place of good luck and good spirits. This is where we connect with fame and fortune, with the broader, wider world of all of our hopes and dreams and wishes. This is the place where we connect through our networks of relationships, and that means that we can connect with all kinds of support and creative collaboration. And I feel that a lot of you are feeling your life expand right now in some interesting new directions. Now, some of you have already started some significant new chapters in your life, and I think that Aries season is landing some awareness for you about what these new chapters might be offering. And a lot of you, I think, are really feeling into a sense of potentiality and expansion. And the question for me is, where are you going? How are you growing right now? And are you really listening to your deep inner guidance? Because that is the compass for you. That is the direction. Aries energy can be very headstrong and impulsive. In our bodies, Aries lives in the head. Everybody has all 12 signs in their chart. Everybody has all 12 signs in their body. So Aries lives in the head. It lives in the eyes and the face and the nose and the front part of the brain. It lives in the I feeling. I exist. Me, myself, and I. The center of the story, right? All of us are here on a planet breathing with multitudinous other beings and billions of other people. And all of us are the center of our own stories. And so the feeling of existence, self-identification, and ego are very much connected with all of the fire signs. But especially with Aries, there is the impulse to exist, to protect, defend, to act and enact, the impulsive instinct to go towards what we want and move away from what we don't want. And there's a lot that's happening in Aries right now. The sun is here, so happy equinox. It's the beginning of spring in the northern hemisphere, the beginning of autumn in the southern hemisphere. Mercury, your ruling planet, also in Aries as we begin the season. Mercury is retrograde and will be moving back to Pisces, stationing direct there on April 7th and then re-entering Aries by the end of the season. Venus is also in Aries, also retrograding basically in tandem with Mercury. It's taking a little bit longer to station direct and move back into Aries. The outer planet Eris is in Aries. The centaur planet Chiron is in Aries. We are going to have a solar eclipse in Aries on March 29th. So there is a lot going on here. And because this is a place of opportunity and expansion and the future and a wide net of sociality, which can be very exciting, especially for Geminis, I feel like where I really want to start with you all is talking about some of the potential risk factors of this energy. So Aries energy, when it is excessive, is a major risk factor for everybody. It can be impulsive, hasty, urgent, and heedless, totally thoughtless. It can misuse its own energy by using it up too fast with too much force, and then it can burn out, and it can burn up everything and everybody around it because it's not paying attention to the fact that lots of people and beings are around you all the time. We live in an interdependent relational reality, and Aries energy can very easily forget that when it gets super oriented on the me, myself, and I and all of the activity. And I'm not saying that that's where I see you going, but it is a potential for anybody, and this is a general reading, and it is a time when the collective is experiencing Aries energy. We also have the outer planet Neptune entering Aries on March 30th, and I will say that the last time that Neptune came into Aries, it has like a 150, 60-year orbit around the sun, was the beginning of the Civil War in the United States. And, you know, it's not then, now, it's a different time. There are different things happening. There are different wars happening. And we live in a time where there's a lot of firepower, and there are a lot of people acting out in ways that are urgent, hasty, thoughtless, and destructive. And you could be around some of those people with this placement, because Aries is also about, for Geminis, is also about the collective, kind of social atmosphere and the groups that you are encountering and whatnot. So whether you are encountering this type of energetic potential in yourself, and we all have that potential, I know that I feel excess Aries all the time, or whether you are experiencing it in someone else, I want you to know what the red flags are. So Aries energy, when it is dangerous, is a really narrowed focus. And the feeling here is like when people get in a fight, right? And in a conflict, and it's like, you literally like can't hear anymore. I don't know if you've ever had that experience where someone just really makes you mad and then you can't even hear what they're saying because you're so pissed and you're just like focused and hot-headed. So that kind of feeling, that's Aries when it is starting to become excessive. Sometimes people get a really like furrowed, concentrated brow. Sometimes people's eyes, like actual eyeballs, become defensive or hardened or full of hatred or something like that. Aries excess can also manifest around passion and desire. And similarly, when there is some kind of object or concentration of desire, oh, I really want that, people can get really narrow focus. And they can not see the risks, not see the pitfalls, not see that there are actually lots of other options or other routes to get what they want. And this is one of the most dangerous things about Aries energy. And if you've ever met, little kids that have like a lot of Aries placements, sometimes it's like, they just get going on the thing that they want to do. And all the adults are like, oh no, they're going to ride their bike off the edge of the building. Like somebody stop them, right? Because they're not looking at what the risks are. So you want to pay attention to the feeling of being urgent, being hasty, having your focus get narrowed, feeling hot in the head, right? Or hard-headed about things. When you notice those feelings coming up for yourself, and because of where Aries is in your chart, especially when it has to do with groups and how you're engaging with groups, because people will piss you off more than anybody else, right? Especially when it has to do with the future and the ways that you may feel activated around what you want or what you don't want. This is where Aries energy is really strong for the Gemini charts. So I just took a deep breath. I want to invite you to take a deep breath, and together let's engage a little bit of mind-body practice and let our breath facilitate some relaxation in the Aries parts of the body. If it's helpful for you to close your eyes, you might close your eyes. And this is one way that we can work with excess Aries, because the gaze can get so narrow when we're working from places of urgency and strong attachment, desire, or instinct. Relax your eyeballs intentionally. Whether or not your eyes are open or closed, you might try and rest energetically in your eyes. Let the fronts of your eyes move away from your eyelids or whatever they might have been looking at. And start to tune in with the feeling of your inhale, the inhaling breath as it moves upwards and into your head. If it's possible for you to breathe through your nose, then breathe through your nose and pay attention to the sensation of breath as it passes into your sinuses and into your forehead and face bones. See if you can release and relax any expression from your face. You might need to unclench your jaw, let your tongue relax in your mouth. And then as you exhale, begin to intentionally relax your brain. I like to say that I can use my mind to relax my brain. And this is a practice of allowing your felt sense to scan through the front of your head, around the front portions of your brain, and breathing in ease and relaxation as an invitation, and any feeling of any amount of relaxation, any amount of release that can happen in your head, trying to facilitate that. You have muscles all the way around your skull, muscles inside your face, and your brain itself, while it might not feel like the kind of muscles that you have in your arms or legs, it is also able to relax. And then start to let your awareness move into your back body, and you can begin at the back of your head. And if it's helpful to touch the back of your head, you might lightly run your fingers through your hair or tap the back of your skull. Sometimes a little bit of touch can help facilitate awareness if you're not used to tracking sensation in the felt sense. And let your awareness extend down the back of your body, down your shoulders, the back of your heart, and into your low back. And if it's comfortable for your shoulders, you might clasp your forearms together behind your back or touch the sides of your back around your bottom ribs. And you can actually breathe this far down. Your lungs go, your ribs hold them, so your bottom ribs are quite low. They're about the height of your belly button. And as you breathe, try and let your breath move into your back. Let your breath expand and spread through the tissues of your low back, into the muscles, into the skin. You might even imagine your breath can puff up into the space behind you like a balloon. Continuing to be conscious of where there's any amount of relaxation that your mind can facilitate for your body. Releasing tension in the head, in the brain, around the spine, through the joints. And really letting our breath move into the back of the body. And as you exhale, allowing your breath to continue to release into the earth. You might even imagine here that any excess tension, any thoughts that are not serving you, any stress you might be holding could be carried out in the river of your breath, released back to the earth as pure potentiality, as neutral energy. And as you breathe, just noticing how this feels and how it feels for your mind and your mental state, to be bringing attention to your back body, breathing into it and consciously relaxing. Okay, so continuing with that kind of breathing as long as you can, maybe for the rest of this recording. I hope that you can continue to practice this kind of breathing throughout Aries season. Maybe make it an intentional practice for the rest of this year. And with Neptune moving into Aries, this is a 13-year transit, so maybe it's the next 13 years. Something that you'll be practicing is conscious relaxation, breathing into your back body, and allowing your exhalations to release any amount of tension or stress you're ready to let go of back to the ground, back to the earth. Now, not everybody responds the same way, so if you didn't have an immediate response to that breath, or if it didn't make you feel more relaxed, that's totally fine. Practice it a couple more times and practice it in your own time and in your own way. So you don't have to do it the way that I suggest. And I am going to guess that at some point, if you practice it enough, you will find the cooling, peaceful effects that I feel when I do this kind of breath. And again, we're different, so we're going to feel it different ways. But a lot of people are able to down regulate a little bit with this kind of breathing. It can help facilitate a little bit more mental relaxation and sense of internal balance. And especially in moments where we feel ourselves activated and stressed out, this type of breathing can be extremely helpful. And when we catch ourselves moving with urgency or hastiness, or getting caught up in energy that is moving really fast, it can be so helpful to just take a couple of breaths like this. It can help us regulate in our own body minds, and it can also help us co-regulate with others. 70% or more of our communication happens non-verbally, and it happens through energetic transmission and a vibe and how we perceive one another's kind of like bodily feeling state. And you know what it feels like to be around someone who's really ungrounded and anxious and frenetic, or moving really fast in their energy. It can be hard to not feel reactive to that kind of energy, or feel it kind of pervade into your own sphere. And you probably also know what it feels like to be around people who are peaceful and calm and grounded. And you want to be able to facilitate your own regulation right now, my Gemini friends. Especially when it comes to your relationships, especially when it comes to groups and group behaviors and group dynamics, and especially when it comes to any projects or ideas that you have about the future. And that can include doom spirals and worry and fear about what the future might be bringing. And it can also include passionate desires and fantasies about what you want for the future and everything in between. But anywhere along that spectrum, there are so many opportunities for us to really get hijacked in our own energy by becoming dysregulated in our nervous systems. And Aries season and what Aries season is bringing, to me, really speaks a lot to some potentials for energetic dysregulation. So, as a somatic practitioner and person who is here for collective healing, this is what I'm sharing. I hope that it works for you. Let me know in the comments how that breath practice is for you, and if you have any other ways that you practice regulating or co-regulating that you want to share. I would love to know, and others would definitely love to know as well and benefit from that. Okay, so Aries season begins March 20th with the vernal equinox, and March 30th is when Neptune enters Aries. March 29th is the solar eclipse new moon in Aries, and the first week of Aries season, we have all kinds of contacts between Mercury and Venus and the sun, and Pluto in Aquarius, your fellow air sign, going on. So there is some intensity in the air. There's a lot of fire and air energetics coming in and coming in fast. Now, on a collective level, this could mean all kinds of things. On a Gemini level, for the Gemini charts, I'm going to say that you all have some of the best setups that I have seen so far. I only have one more reading to do for Aries season, so you're almost the last, and I will say that I feel like you guys have some potential to work with, okay? So there are possibilities. There are new avenues for growth. There are new adventures that are calling your name. Many of you know what they are. You have some kind of sense of these new directions you're headed. You have turned the page on some significant chapters. Maybe some of you just recently, from the beginning of this year or late last year. There are some fresh new starts that are beginning. And whenever we are embarking on a new adventure, there's also fear, there's worry, there's anxiety, and there's a sense of really needing to measure and pace your energy when I look at your chart. And the feeling that I have is it's really important for you to be taking care of your resources right now and pacing yourself with your efforts, because you do not want to burn out. And there are definitely some potentials, especially when we're working with Aries energy, for burnout. So the first piece of advice that I have for you, or beyond this breathing practice and other things I've mentioned, is feed yourself as best as you possibly can right now throughout Aries season and in 2025. I know scarcity issues are a thing, but if you are listening to this and you have access to, regular meals, make sure that you are getting them. Nourish yourself and drink plenty of water. Try not to indulge in stimulants. They do not help you right now. Gemini in general is sensitive in the mental body, and especially to stimulation, especially right now. I want to say, try and stay away from substances that dysregulate your nervous system. You know what they are. Some people can't go a day without caffeine. If you need what you need, get it. But really try to balance your internal ecosystem as much as you can. And in all the ways that you can, listen to your body and listen to what your body is asking for. My feeling is that it's really important for you all to get enough rest and relaxation, but it's not particularly easy for some of you at the moment because you're amped up and excited and busy and you have a lot of things going on. Somatic practice is an active way to give yourself rest and relaxation. So if you don't have an easy time just chilling out, come hang out with me on Mondays. I teach a weekly class on Monday mornings from 8 to 9:30 a.m. Pacific called Somatic Space, where we do active practices that are very restorative for the body and mind. If you can't make it to the live time, you can always get the recording. I think that something like that, some kind of guided process or activity that actually helps you access your internal agency for relaxation would be really helpful. Breath work is super helpful. Being in bodies of water and feeling your own water body, also very helpful. There are lots of things that you are working on right now. I feel like Gemini has so much attention on what is possible, and your attention is with yourself right now. So what's possible for you in your lifetime, in your timeline? A lot of you are thinking about your career, your vocation, your standing in the world, how to be who you want in the world, and how to take care of yourself right now. Some of you are not thinking in terms like career and vocation. You're thinking about survival. How do you get what you want and what you need in order to move forward? You're also really conscious of the future in some way. You're thinking about who's out there, what's happening. For some of you, there's a feeling of like a battle cry that I'm getting that's coming in. And that battle cry could be full of passion and vigor and creativity, and it could also be totally fierce and ready to fight. Either way, breathe. regulate yourself. Remember that you need to pace your energy. If you want to be effective in a significant way, then you have to be effective in a long-term way. And that means that you might not be able to give 100% every day. You might not even be able to give 10% every day. Some days you need to give 0%. And you have to be able to listen to your body and what your body is asking of you. As we move into the month of April, the first 2 weeks of April, we're approaching the full moon in Libra, your fellow air sign, the opposite sign of Aries. And the full moon will happen on April 12th, which is the same day that Venus is stationing direct. Now, things are going on for you right now that feels like a reconfiguring or a revisioning of how you want to do what you do, or what you want to do is in some kind of revision process. Now, when I say how you want to do what you do or what it is that you do, I'm talking about like the big capital D do. Like when you go to a party and people are like, well, what do you do? Such an annoying question, right? But also like, what do you do? It doesn't have to be the thing that pays you. It's the thing that you are most committed to. What are you here for? What is your big work in the world? Some people are here and their main project is to be themselves. Some people are here and they are all about learning as much as they possibly can. Some people's main work in the world is to create a family. Some people's main work in the world is to create a legacy. What is your purpose? This is a feeling tone. It's not something you can print on a business card. In the month of April, things are clarifying for you around your sense of purpose. I want to say that disappointment, frustration, and failure are part of the clarification process. And don't get worried. I'm not saying that things are going to come out of the blue. You already know what these situations are because you have been disappointed. You have been feeling the failure. You've been feeling the frustration. There are boundaries and limitations to certain projects, to certain situations, to ideas that you had about who you are, what you could do. And a lot of you have reached the end point with some aspect of what it is that you are doing or this sense of purpose. And it could be that what you've reached the end point or limitation of is an iteration of it. And what is asked of you right now is to get deeper about what it is that you're actually here to do. I'll offer you an example, right? Like my public image is, oh, I'm an astrologer. This is how people know who I am. I put myself out vocationally as an astrologer. I will tell you right now, that is not the thing that I am here doing. It's the thing that I do, but my main purpose is, again, it's not something I can print on a business card. It's barely something that I can find language for. My purpose, what I feel for myself, is I am here to energetically transform and be transforming with others. And astrology is a vehicle through which I can do that. My main purpose is to work with the language of story so that we can change our stories together. Astrology is a vessel for me to realize my own purpose. So that's an offering from me on a personal level. What's your version of that? Something has been clarifying for you recently about what it's not. Okay, so maybe you're an artist, but the art world is full of fucking drama and some BS. And you're like, well, I'm an artist, but I'm not here to try and win those awards or those accolades or be seen in a particular kind of way because actually I'm here for the earth or something like that. There's something that is clarifying for you around the no, the not, so that the yes and the I am can open further. I don't know if that makes sense. Let me know in the comments what's resonating for you. But my feeling is that frustrations, limitations, experiences of oh my gosh, this isn't working, or you've been really fatigued, you're over it with certain things and you just can't do it anymore. And this is over the last couple of years, okay? It's you've reached the end of something, you cannot go further, And coming to terms with that allows this new possibility to open. And the new possibility feels a little bit surprising in certain ways, but for a lot of you, it also feels like a return. It's like you're remembering that you're actually passionate about something. You're remembering why something matters to you. You're remembering what the deep soul contract is, and you're no longer in the illusion of like what the identity fixture, the ego fixture is. So the full moon coming in on April 12th is clarifying something for you with this Venus station direct. And I feel like new possibilities for your expression and self-actualizing are coming through around this time. And that then is opening up some new channels for your energy to move forward in. There's a recognition here of your creative potential. And we're all creative beings. We are all the artists of our own lives. And a big part of how we create is through our energy. And so, this happens all the time for people where inside the front part of their brain and their Aries self and the me, myself, and I, they have some kind of self-concept that is not actually aligned with their energy. And this can then create mismatches in their lives and misalignments with the ways that they're trying to create and build and manifest in their relationships, in their work, with their bodies, with their health, etc. So this is a full moon that is bringing some inner truths, I feel, into your consciousness and helping you to land in what you always already knew about yourself, but some of you forgot, or it got misplaced, or you got diverted, or you needed to do something else for a while so that you could circle back to this. And now there's an opportunity for you to create in some new and different ways and to feel more integrated about it, more solid, more whole. Your wholeness is what allows this next chapter in your life to unfold for you. So you have to be real about it. We don't need you to be trying to please or impress or fake out anybody else. We don't need you to be convincing yourself or anybody else of anything. We really need you to be feeling your authentic momentum and motivation and believing in it 100%. And if you don't believe it 100%, if you have doubts, if you have anxieties, if you have a sense of being like internally torn around something, give attention to those feelings, right? So this message about it's in the frustration, it's in the resentment, it's in the doubt, it's in the sense of fatigue that actually something opens. So we don't need anybody to force it or fake it. We need people to be real. And especially in the Gemini charts right now, it feels like a lot of you really want to, it's like you want to go. You want to do this new thing. It's like you have all this energy. But if there's any kind of mismatch, it's going to thwart you down the line, but it can be a boon to you right now. It can be a gift to you right now if you pay attention to it. So give space for grieving, give space for disappointment, give space for frustration. Ask yourself if there are things that haven't been working, what are they revealing to you about what you need and what you want moving forward? Your values are really your guide right now. If you are aligned with your values, if you are clear with yourself about what you want and what you need, that steadies you on your course. It doesn't mean that your values or your desires won't change. They will. They're going to continue to evolve. It doesn't mean that you're going to get everything that you want or think that you need. You will continue to adjust. You'll continue to adapt. New wants and needs will emerge. But you have to be working in a way that's honest for yourself right now. And you also have to be open to feeling some of the feelings that are present about why this honesty. What is emerging for you in your felt sense and awareness? The last week of Aries season, fire, fire, fire. Mercury is moving back into Aries. It will conjoin with Neptune. Mars is moving into Leo. It will send a trine to Neptune. We've got lots of energy this year also moving into the air element, including Gemini. In just a couple months, in July, Uranus will be moving into Gemini, and fire and air are really gaining strength. Pace yourself, pace yourself, pace yourself. The last week of Aries season feels really invigorating. It feels really activating. It's so full of ideas. Oh my gosh, Gemini. Y'all don't, you don't have any shortage of ideas right now. There's a lot of creative energy. For Gemini, there's always energy around talking, communicating, thinking, and speaking, as well as any forms of transmission and communication of information, definitely including writing. A lot of you might be feeling some kind of new projects or ideas or ways that you want to express and communicate coming forward. Pace yourself. If you are feeling impulsive, if you're feeling instinctual, if you're feeling like it's time to go, I'm not saying don't go. I'm just saying give it some breaths and move in such a way that you trust your own movement. Okay? That's where I'm going to leave it. You want to be able to trust your own choices. This is essential. You need to be able to move at the speed of trust with yourself so that you can move in trust with others. How are you going to do that? You're going to close your eyes. You're going to breathe some breaths. You're going to feel that you are not alone here, that there is so much grace and so much love around you. You don't have to do it alone. No great creation is complete in one lifetime. That means plenty of collaborators need to be available. And people are slow, right? We got to stop. We got to go to the bathroom. We need a snack. Oh, I forgot something. Got to turn around. Relax. Let's play. Let's be in a more playful kind of energy with this. What needs to be known will be known in the moments that we need to know it. Okay? Gemini, if this feels helpful for you, please let me know in the comments. And if this is supportive for you, then please support me in turn. The best ways to do that are to like, share, and subscribe. The buttons are below. If you think that your friends or networks would appreciate this work, please share it with them. As I mentioned, you can catch me every Monday in Somatic Space. We play with the astrology of the week ahead, and we do practices that help us regulate and co-regulate with one another. I think you might enjoy it. We also have all kinds of things happening at Embodied Astrology beyond these horoscopes. We have classes, we have workshops, we have trainings. We have a very special event coming up on March 22nd, which is a conversation I'm excited to have with the activist and astrologer Laura Chung. Laura is a really great astrologer who has been looking at the astrology of revolutions, and she is coming to EA to talk to us about revolutionary astrology in the past and in the present, and how we can tune in with what's happening in 2025 in good ways. We also have a learning community at Embodied Astrology. So if part of what is calling you in the future is more astro and doing it in ways that are playful, embodied, experiential, and collective, that's what we're about. So check us out, embodiedastrology.com. All the links are in the show notes. Gemini, I love you. I'm wishing you all the best in Aries season and beyond. Bye for now.